quick video on weekly chart of Bitcoin and kind of how to use fibs and a little bit on some head and shoulders pattern. So first, sometimes I'll pull out on Bitcoin to go to the weekly chart, and again, you adjust your charts up here, right here in this little indicator. You hit this guy, and you can go to an hourly, days, weeks, months. You can do some custom ranges depending on whether you have a paid plan or not. You go to minutes and different sizes there. I sometimes like to go to get big macro trends. As again, I'm not at all a day trader. I don't have time for it, and just don't have the I just don't have the energy to be a day trader. I'm more of a macro swing trader. That's what I have time for, and that's what I can do. So here is basically an action Bitcoin. We broke up, came up, and here we are. Looks like we're kind of consolidating in a previous consolidation range. Remember, each one of these candles is a week's worth of action. Again, we're on the weekly candle. So Bitcoin hung here for, it got here, hung here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So Bitcoin ran from 10,000 all the way up to 30,000. And then you got to remember, this stuff seems like overnight that Bitcoin ran from like 10 grand to 60 grand, but it really didn't. It took months. So we got ourselves to about 32,000. We hung here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks before it really started exploded up and went from 40 on and 40 and up. So again, right now we're in a consolidation pattern. Bitcoin can consolidate for a month, 2 months. Right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I mean, we could get a breakout at some point soon. Which way we go, no one will know. But here, I want to go over fibs. So if you go to this line over here, you hit the arrow button. You're going to go to Fibonacci retracements. And what you do is you try to find a relative bottom, and you draw your line all the way to the top. So I'm going to use this doji as it looks like we ran up, we came back down, retested, and came back up. So I would say this is a solid bottom for us. So you click here, and you run your Fibonacci to the top. Me personally, for retracements, I like the 236, the 382, 0.5, 618, and 786. There are different ones, but I kind of like these. I tend to see that these work better for the way that I trade. And let's kind of look at this. You go back and look at this. Our price action touched here. Our price action perfectly touched on the 618. And it looks like a price action touched perfectly here on the 786. So, guys, there is something to Fibonacci retracements. And if you can see, like, it almost looks like the 618 is acting as some level of resistance. You're kind of getting some level here that the 0.5 is acting as, the 618 is acting as support. The 0.5 is acting as resistance. You come back up here, 382 is acting as support, right? We get a touch and a touch. So there is something to these Fibonacci's. And look, we got Bitcoin basically finding support on the 618. Because our 618 hold and we get dropped down to the 786. And again, these drops do not happen overnight. These drops can occur over the course of months. Remember, these are weekly candles. So that's how you draw a Fibonacci, and that's what I'm talking about when and Bitcoin loves to go through the 618, 0.5, 618. It loves this area on any sort of retracements. This is more of a macro retracement. A Fibonacci video that I'll do will have more of on Fibonacci's, but I just kind of want to show you how I drew them, why I trade off them, and then I basically look for areas of support. So I'm in support zone. You could trickle your money in, hold on to it, and really, we kind of went out of it and got bought right back up into it. You gotta remember, these are machines. There's machines out there that basically trade off of Fibonacci's. So there's probably some machines out there that right now that use it as a buying opportunity. So it looks like right now you're getting a ton of support here. So this is where I like to enter. You're basically entering at almost a discount from where it was trading up here. So the next thing is I want to show you what I'm talking about at Head and Shoulders. So it gets interesting. You have, and again, this is not perfect, but I'm going to draw it out for you for what I see. You almost have a shoulder here. You then almost have a head here. And then you almost have the right shoulder here. Again, not perfect, and it's also on the weekly chart, but Head and Shoulders is a bearish based pattern. Typically means that we're kind of topping. It's a topping pattern. Price action went up, came back down, hit a high, came back down, and just didn't get as high, and you break lower. The way you measure, you get a measured move off of this. The way you get a measured move off of this is, so you go to the neck, you try to find a neckline. Try to find where, where can we say that the right shoulder and the neck and the left shoulder, right shoulder, and the neck all really meet. We can kind of almost say that this line right here is a neckline. Again, not perfect, but we're going to use this. You can almost see that the right shoulder starts here, comes back down, finds support here. Your neck comes up, comes back down, meets here, starts forming the right shoulder. When it broke, once it broke this line, this is when it all fell off a cliff. I'm using this as a neckline. You could get measured moves, like measured downside targets. So like when it breaks the neckline, when I talk about a neckline, the neckline is referring to the support of the pattern. So here's our neckline. What you do is you draw a line from your neck on up to the top of the pattern of your head. And you take that same move and you put it to your neckline. You're going to get a roughly a downside target. When we do that, look where Bitcoin is at right now. Literally, the weekly is resting on that measured move. And literally, all this support, boom, support, is all falling on that measured move. So maybe we're trending, this is our bottom, guys. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's the potential of a bottom. We broke through a Head and Shoulders. We hit our target on the way down. So we have two things indicating a possible bottom. I know it's been very choppy action. Another thing to look at for Bitcoin right here is the 50 SMA on the weekly. Again, it's a weekly chart. So could this be where we find support and bounce off of? A lot of things going on. There are some bearish things. There's some bearish ideas. This is not a buy now. Put all your money in. This is just more of, I just want to give you guys kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing on the weekly charts. How you can kind of, play your moves. And again, maybe this is where you set your stop loss. Like if it drops below here, or drops below here, you do not want to be part of this entire down move. So just want to put this guys out to you, kind of what I'm seeing and what I mean by I'm dropping when I pull that fib chart for you.